Hi everyone, Mark Officer here. I'm here with Terry Price, and today I wanted to introduce to you, Terry, a new product that we've developed, and that is the Perfectstroke Aim Index. So what this is about is helping you with your practice putting, to give you some structure when you're doing your practice, and also an extension of that is going to help you with your green reading. Green reading is something that I've battled with over my entire career, and to be able to shed a bit of light on that, so to speak, is going to be really something that I'm looking forward to. So the idea is that we're going to treat every putt when we're practicing, and therefore out on the golf course when we're playing, we're identifying it as a position relative to a clock face. Uphill, you're putting from 6 o'clock. If you're putting straight down the hill, you're putting from 12 o'clock. So that's what these references are, all about positions on the clock face from 1 o'clock through to 12 o'clock. That's great, because even from the point of view of a rough understanding of putting, I've always tried to do that. I've recognised when playing professional golf in tournaments, the easiest putt is from underneath the hole. Exactly. As you were saying, 6 o'clock. Yeah. So I've always tried to hit my ball approach shots onto the green, to give myself the easiest putt on the green. Yeah. And we know from statistical analysis of putts that guys hole on the PGA Tour, that they're holing putts from underneath the hole, from that area, 4 o'clock through to 8 o'clock, including the straight uphillers. That's the ones that they're making. And then the difficulties come in the strongest breaking putts, and that makes sense because now the speed has to be absolutely perfect as well. The thing that we know from professional play and even amateur play especially is that most people underread putts. So this system that gives you aim points based on 4 different length putts that you hit tells you the reality of how much you should be aiming to the right or to the left of the edge of the hole for all these different manner of putts on different slopes. So it comes in 6 different stimps as well. The difference between the Aim Index and the Aim Index Pro is that we have slope percentages from 1, 2 and 3% on the Aim Index, and on the Aim Index Pro it's 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5 and 3. So much more detail in the Aim Index Pro, but the Aim Index actually covers 2 stimps. The recreational golfer is probably only going to putt on a green speed that's in the 9 to 10 zone. That's right. Whereas sometimes I play in tournaments where I could blow out to a 13 or 14 even on some of the faster greens around. So, I'm looking forward to it because I've always tried to find the straight putt when I go out in my first start of my practice, so that I can see that I'm aiming correctly, whether it be the putter face or my body alignment. But then once the breaks start to occur, I'm not sure how much I need, in fact, to allow for the break. So hopefully this is going to help me out today. All right, well, let's try a few putts, and we'll identify where the zero break line is first, and then we'll try a few from different angles. So Terry's found the straight putt up the hill, the zero break line from 6 o'clock, and we've also been checking his stride length in order to be able to measure out with relative accuracy 6 feet and 12 feet, because that's what we've got on the Perfectstroke Aim Index. Is we've got distances from 3, 6, 9 and 12 feet. So pretty much, Terry, you've got that sorted, being able to measure out 6 feet and measure out 12. So
yeah, Sergeant, I'm not overstriding, I'm just making it a natural stride distance.
Yep.
So I found nicely that it fits for me with 2 strides is 6 feet. Yep. 4 strides then becomes 12 feet, and I must say, and we've verified that, of course, with that.
So we've got a tape measure, so we measured that out, and this is something you want to do for your distance away from the target, as well as the distance in aim. So now we might put a tee in the ground, somewhat out to the right of the hole, and you can estimate how far you think that is in inches, and then we'll measure it. So you need to be testing yourself both on, initially at least, until you get used to it, until you find you're pretty accurate. You need to just test yourself and see if you know what 6 inches is from the right edge of the hole, or 9 inches or 15 inches or whatever it is. On the dial that tell us that your putt might be an inside right putt or a right edge putt. Okay, so you did go pretty close there. You were fractionally over. So Terry's putting from 12 feet here, and over the years he's done quite a few Sand Putt Lab analysis with myself, and we know he's got a very good putting technique. So just trying to add a little bit more by improving his training techniques and, in extension, the green reading.
Yeah, that's right, Sarge. And you know, also knowing that you can hole some putts from 12 feet, 4 metres, is pretty exciting, because if you look at the statistics on the tours, whether it be the LPGA Ladies or the PGA Tour, the ones that are holding those putts from inside 4 metres are winning the tournaments. So exactly. I think a lot of recreational golfers focus on the long putts. They're very important to get the ball up near the hole. But if you're making a lot of your putts from inside that 12 feet or 4 metre range, by goodness, your score goes down very, very quickly.
Exactly. So now Terry's going to putt from the 3 o'clock position, and we can see here that from 3 o'clock and 6 feet, the aim should be 6 inches to the right edge of the hole. So does that feel pretty comfortable there, Terry?
Yeah, this feels very nice. That one was hit a little bit hard. However, it feels like I'm in the right position here to allow for the amount of break that's required to hit this putt in the hole.
Yep. And the holing speed is 300 mils or 12 inches past the hole.
That's right. And I feel in tournaments that on a putt that I need to respect a bit, which this one is, that I'm probably going back to my old professional golf days of allowing a little bit too much and hitting it a little bit softer, which also goes hand in hand with the numbers that we're seeing from this new fantastic aiming device.
So in order to be able to establish exactly where the different clock face positions are, well, probably one of the best ways of doing it is to actually sit the aim index over the hole, line it up so that the zero break line is pointing directly in the correct and appropriate position, and then you can stand back, you know, when you're at the estimated 3 o'clock position, let's say, and you can see those slots with the cutouts, and you can just line yourself up and, you know, very accurately get the correct position.
What I'm going to do now, I'm going to use it in a more practical or golf related sense. I love the practice with the tees from the zero break line, but I'm going to take a putt now from 11 o'clock. Now the beautiful part about the alignment is that we can see 11 o'clock on this disc, and I'm going to start walking 1, 2, 3 paces out to 9 feet, and I'm just going to drop my ball in this vicinity. And then I'm going to refer to my chart, and I can see that from 9 feet at 11 o'clock I need to aim 7 inches left of the hole. Now this one is imperial. We also have metric, but I prefer, being an old fella, the imperial side of things. So now that I've been practicing straight up and straight down, and also learning to measure the right amount, knowing what 6 inches now is, I've got a better gauge when I just look at the hole of what 7 inches might be. So we're putting it in our pocket now, and we're going to our golf simulation. So at 9 feet, 7 inches left of the hole. That feels pretty comfortable. And away I go, and there we have it. In she goes. So that was really exciting for me to see the ball go in the hole, because the more I practice and the more I see putts going in during practice, I'm taking some serious confidence to the golf course when I play in my next professional event.
Another way that you can use the aim index in your practice mode, which may then extend into on-course stuff, is to just put a ball down on the green, and you can see that this putt is actually uphill and right to left somewhat. So we know what the Stimp is, you know, that hasn't changed, it's 11. And the distance that Terry's going to hit this putt from is about 12 feet. So what's the aim from let's assume, what number do you think you're putting from? If it's uphill and right to left, it must be.
It must be around 5 o'clock, Mark, and this is the great part about this system. I can come around here to the straight putt uphill, and it actually has the line to 5 o'clock. So the great news for me is I can look at this now very simply and quickly, and I can see that at 5 o'clock from 12 feet that I have to aim 4.5 inches to the right of the hole. Now the beautiful part about that is it doesn't have to be 4.5. I've come to realise, working with you in the studio, that it's not a laser line. It does not have to be perfect. It can be up to 2 inches either side.
It's like a corridor, right? Or
correct, like a corridor.
Yeah.
It's a channel.
Yeah.
And because I can be an inch to the left or an inch to the right and still make the putt. And I've found, playing in tournaments, that has taken an enormous amount of pressure off me. I don't need to have the line down to be absolutely perfect. I've got wriggle room. And so I'm looking at this as a nice general guide, but what it is doing is giving me a reassurance or a comfort that I'm definitely in the ball park when it comes to my aim. So I can draw some significant confidence from that.
And hopefully you get to a stage where you just don't have any putts out in the course when you're using this clock face system of getting it wrong altogether, getting the break going in the wrong direction. So, provided you can find that zero break line, you should be able to ensure that doesn't occur.
I agree, and it has simplified my thought process a lot on the golf course, because I can just walk to the zero break line even as I'm walking up onto the green. I can see where that is, and I can get a general guide of what number on the clock face I'll be putting from, whether it be 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 4 or 10, anywhere in between. Hopefully most of the time I'm on the zero break line putting uphill, but when I'm not, I have the confidence of knowing where to aim from those distances.
Yep. Okay, let's see you hit this putt from 5 o'clock, from 12 feet, at a 4.5 inch aim outside the right edge of the hole. Oh, maybe a little lacking in speed, that's all.
A good putt on the right line, not hit hard enough. And that's one to recognise for the recreational golfer. It was not the wrong line. I didn't hit it hard enough. Pardon me. Didn't hit it hard enough. It didn't go that 30 centimetres or 1 foot past the hole. So I can reconcile that, put that in my mental bank, and be ready for that putt next time.
Yeah. One other thing that I'd like to suggest is in your practice putting with this device, you could, rather than hitting putt after putt after putt from the same spot, just keep changing your angles all the time, because that's what you're asked to do out in the golf course. You're asked to adapt to different length putts, different angles. So you've got to be able to adjust to the speed that you have to hit the putt at. If you're just hitting putt after putt from the same spot, there's limited learning you can get from that.
That's right, and I must admit, golf professionals and some amateurs are very much victims of that perfectionist style of practice, and it doesn't do you any good. You're much better off practicing, from my perspective, practicing your green reading skills, because as you and I have established over some time now, my putting stroke is not so bad, so I don't really need to work on that. What I need to be able to do is start the ball in the direction, or in the general direction, of where I need the thing to go.
Yep, exactly. So you're going to hit one more putt from 5 o'clock, and we'll imagine this is out in the course and this is for birdie. There it is. So one of the other ways that you can use the aim index is to use it as a phantom cup. If you can't get access to a cup, or you can't get access to a cup where you've got a uniform slope amount around the cup, you can just put it on the green anywhere. On this putt, Terry was hitting from 9 feet. He'd assumed he assumed it was a 1% slope, and then he measured it and it was actually about 1.2. So then he can pick those balls up and then just move around to another angle and putt from that angle. So let's say you go around to a 10 o'clock position now, Terry. So if you can sort of pace out 12 feet, the aim is 4.5 inches.
And I think another good point, Mark, is the verification by using one of these spirit levels, these digital spirit levels that are available. I think that they give you a very, very good understanding of what you're seeing. You start to see and feel what is actually real by popping one of these onto the green. Exactly. You don't need a big builder's spirit level.
Yeah.
One of these golf-specific spirit levels, absolutely.
And one other point that we haven't made so far today, and that is there's only one slope that you need to measure, and that is the fall line. That's the zero break line, is the only one you're measuring. You don't need to measure the side slopes in this system. It's just the fall line, and then anytime you're getting off to the side from 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, you're still just measuring parallel to the zero break line.
That is correct. All that math has been done for you in the system. Yep. So that's the wonderful part about it.
Yeah. Putting from a 10 o'clock angle. So the other thing, Terry, that we were talking about earlier is, you know, the benefits of using a system like this in giving you a specific aim, and then thereafter, if you can commit to that aim, you're probably more likely to get good results, because a lot of the time we don't get good results because we don't commit. We're not sure of what we're doing, and you don't commit to it and follow through with it.
That's absolutely correct, Mark. You know, they were saying in golf years ago, it's better to be committed and wrong than to be correct and indecisive. Now, the beautiful part about the system is that the more often you start to see the correct breaks, the more confident you become that you are aiming in the right direction. So your decision making is much clearer. You're not doubting yourself. And when you do miss a putt through poor read or the distance control issue, you have immediate feedback on what you did wrong.
Yeah.
So you're armed with that information for the next range of putts that you're going to have. So for mine, you're educating your eye to see outside the hole the correct amount, remembering always that there's a corridor or a track. You do not have to be perfect.
Yeah.
So the wonderful part about this is it's educating your eye, giving you confidence that you are aiming in the correct direction. And it's also giving you the feedback, positive or negative, arming you to play well and putt well in the next batch of holes or the next day. You're getting better all the time. So you're doing educated, informed practice rather than just coming to the putting green and hitting the ball.
Yeah, slapping a few putts around without actually reading the putt before you hit it. How often do players do that?
Correct, and that's the one thing that you see professionals do. They're always doing educated practice. It would pay enormous benefits for the recreational golfer to do a little bit more of this educated practice. This system will arm them with that opportunity.